And welcome back to Deathbattle Prediction. So the Optimus versus Gundam Deathbattle premiere, they actually really defined which one it was. It was the G1 in the original Gundam, G1 Optimus Prime. And I'm basically not going to say who actually won, but I'll say who I thought won without saying the actual individual's name. So if you've seen my previous prediction on that video and you haven't watched the fight yet, there's going to be some spoilers in like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. You good? You muted me? All right. So the one I thought would win did win. And when they explained why that person won, it made sense to me. It made sense the way they explained it, particularly when you actually go by all the information available to each character. I could have seen it the other way too, and I wouldn't have complained. That was one of those night and day things. Should note, though, one thing I will spoil, and it's not actually a spoiler, is that they actually showed the size comparisons between each of these guys. Yeah, I got it wrong. Optimus is like 38 feet, and Gundam's like 56 or something feet. It wasn't like I got it wrong. It's not like it was a drastic difference. It was, in robot terms, that was not a drastic difference. So the people who were getting on my ass for that, it's like serious. No, seriously. If you haven't seen the comments, look at the comments, and there's like some people were getting on my ass for not understanding that a Gundam was so much bigger than Optimus. Like, get over yourself. I made a mistake. Sorry. Anyway, I digress. So Daredevil versus Nightwing is the next one. Now, I've actually done this who would win before. I gave my own opinion on it. I don't know if my opinion has changed on it. I mean, I'm going to give my opinion here. I don't know if the opinion I'm going to give here is different than what I did in the video. But you can watch that video if you want my actual opinion. Don't want to hear me ramble. Granted, this isn't going to be like 10 minutes long. Probably going to be somewhere in the 5 or 6 minutes range. But I think Nightwing would win. The reason I say Nightwing would win is due to several implications. Daredevil is a skilled martial artist. He's highly acrobatic, metahuman level acrobatic, actually. But it's because he is a metahuman. He has abilities, particularly like a perfect sense of balance due to his radar sense. So, and, due to all his other heightened senses. So that plays a severe factor in his abilities as an individual. Now, you're maybe asking, what does this have to do with Nightwing winning? Well, Nightwing, I would argue, is just as skilled as a martial artist. Is just as acrobatic, but he doesn't need his radar sense. Add on to the fact that Daredevil has severe weakness to sound and just sensory overload, and Nightwing is skilled and experienced enough to pick up on it with that kind of weakness that I think he could exploit that as well. I mean, like hand to hand wise, I think they're even if not Nightwing's a little greater. Again, having training from Batman certainly helps. But also, he doesn't have the exploitable weaknesses that like Daredevil has. And he's, again, trained by one of the world's greatest tacticians in Batman. So, it should be noted, too, when I use Batman a lot, because it's often been said that Dick Grayson is probably one of the only individuals that if Batman really did hang up the cowl, he could carry on the mantle of the Bat effectively. So ultimately, yeah, I go Nightwing with that. Plus, in a crossover, Daredevil, and I'm sure they'll reference this in Deathbattle, Daredevil has fought Batman in a crossover, and Batman scared the crap out of him, because Batman's heartbeat never changed in their fight, which scared the ever-loving crap out of Daredevil. Like, why doesn't his heart rate change? We're fighting really hard right now, and his heartbeat isn't changing. I imagine it would be something similar. Now, granted, Dick Grayson is a bit more volatile than Batman. Not like Jason Todd or Damian Wayne volatile. But he is more volatile in that you can get a bit easier of a rouse out of him than you can Batman. So there is that, but I don't think that's an exploitable enough character flaw that Daredevil could win because of that. So I think I'm going Nightwing on this, but I'll be interested to hear what you guys say. But what's more interesting to me than even what the who the two fighters are, is what they're doing. They're doing the first ever live action death battle with actors playing Daredevil and Nightwing. So I see that and I'm like, really? And because look, Screw Attack is making some changes, some beneficial changes. Because I'm gonna be I'm going to be interested to see how Deathbattle is now that, well, because we're going to be getting now the actual animated characters of Boom and Wiz and Boomstick in Deathbattle, or they're going to have their own little mini show to go along with it. So that is, because clearly Deathbattle ScrewAttack has grown by leaps and bounds over the years. They clearly now have the resources to do new things, like an animated version of themselves, like actually having live action fights, getting actors. Again, I swear I just heard someone. Anyway, liking live action versions of these characters in a fight. My only issue with, well, not one of my only issues, my main issue is I'm wondering if, I mean, Bat in the Sun's not the only site that does this. Does these live action interpretations of characters and fights and things along those lines. If anything, this seems like Bat in the Sun, but with actual research put into it now. If you haven't watched any of Bat in the Sun's versus videos, I go watch them. Like, some of them are fantastic. They did a Nightwing versus Gambit one. They did a Red Hood versus Punisher. One of my favorites is the Batman versus Darth Vader one, but not the original. It's the alternate version. The alternate version for me is the real version, because that's the one that makes the most sense to me. I'm like, yeah, that makes the most sense. Yeah, why would Batman would know he could? Well, I'm not going to spoil how either of those ended, but yeah, go watch those. I mean, they did like Darth Maul versus Spider-Man, Wonder Woman versus Wolverine, Joker and Harley versus Deadpool and Domino is one of the better ones too. I mean, a lot of them are pretty solid. Superman versus Thor. They've done a lot of those. This seems to me to be the next step to that, in a sense that, but instead of fan voting it, like that's how Bat in the Sun does it, is fan votes, not actual research put into it, which is why I watch some of them like, no, I disagree with that. It's a great fight, but I disagree with that. Or they'll be like, okay, that was fine, and yeah, I agree, but I don't like doing that. I don't like the fan. And another one is, here's another problem. Like, they've had Tommy, I can't remember the actor who plays Tommy Oliver, the Green Ranger, White Ranger. I mean, he's shown up a couple times, and yeah, I think they play a little bit too much into the fan voting. It bothers me on that one. It does. So it's like taking Bat in the Sun's and they do good quality fights, live action quality sets and fights and all that stuff, but now actually putting the research behind it. And I'm not going to say ScrewAttack gets them right 100% of the time, but I trust their general analysis about 90% of the time. Like, the only few ones I've ever had a real issue with was Goku versus Superman Part 2 more than Part 1. Part 1 I had a mild issue with, but nothing serious. But Part 2, I definitely I take some issue with. It's a good fight. It's a great looking fight, but I have some problems with that one, definitely. The Carnage versus Lucy one that was recent, I had some minor issues with that one as well. But it's far and few between where I really have any set issues with any of the fights they do. So it's going to be interesting. Also going to be interesting to see how many actual live action fights they do. I can't imagine they're all going to be live action fights, but because they have a new animator, from what I understand, as on duty. So I imagine it's going to now be a blend, like maybe every like 3 or 4, you'll get a live action one or something like that. Who knows? But yeah, that's my thoughts on that, though. I think Nightwing is going to beat Daredevil in the fight. What do you think? Do you think he's going to win? What's your thoughts on the live action death battles now? I mean, overall, I'm okay with it. I do just feel like it's a little ripping off Bat in the Sun. But then again, Bat in the Sun probably ripped off other fan-made fights. So what do I know? But anyway, like, comment, share, subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. If you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. Ideas for who would win, Star Wars, Superhero Magic, what if, anything I do on this channel. Put that in the comments below as well. I'll get to that at some point. Tomorrow, there's going to be a Nintendo Direct. We might get some new information for the next Pokemon game. I might talk about that. There will be a review for the Nun later tomorrow. And I might do a worst to best. Depends on what my time frame is like tomorrow. But until then, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time.